made of glue and stick some press face heavy on the blank pieces of paper that I give to them as my peace offering for the week. He sits on the outside of the circle. Broad shoulders bent into brick walls, infantile hands bent into barbed wire, and he plays timekeeper with his cell phone as if tomorrow's sunrise was hinged upon it. My writing workshop only lasts for 2 hours, every Friday, for 10 weeks, and he never lets me forget the moments that I go over by even 10 minutes, and sometimes I do that on purpose. Austin doesn't speak much in the group. The title of my writing workshop is The Art of Storytelling. He stays quiet. I tell him, "Yo, Austin, speak up. I can't hear you." He says, "No," and I understand. You see, contrary to what little you know of this young man, Austin is one of the greatest storytellers that I know. Born and raised in the Sunnydale projects of San Francisco, where entire families stay swallowed up by the bare bellies of capital greed and false promises, Austin's neighborhood is forced to play a game that they will never win in. And no one's ever asked them if they wanted to play in the first place, but they play anyways. Pawns to be passed around for less value than their life expectancy is worth. Children are begging us to save them before they are even born. On Austin's block, everybody is full off of nothing more than their own hunger pains. Liquor stores turn into grocery stores. The 8X Muni bus turns into summer vacation. And when 7 p.m. comes crashing down on grass that doesn't grow anymore, everybody knows better than to ever stand outside on the block till sunrise the next morning, because everyone knows their place like clockwork. His neighborhood is rich off of poor brown bodies, filthy, grimy. It's no wonder they call it the swamp. Sticky, hard to move, even harder to get out. It's no wonder they call it the swamp. His community is heaving with no breath left in them. Remnants of World War II occupation is the foundation for their sleeping grounds. Everybody is building their homes out of dilapidated barracks. Housing here was supposed to be temporary, and nobody was ever supposed to call this place home. Iron bars grip their windows like chokeholds. Dirty water slaps the insides of little girls' throats until they sprout tits and ass and thighs and hands that nobody wants to hold. They become grown before they ever learn how to love childhood. And then there are the boys. Boys like Austin. Samoan boys like Austin, whose bodies are up for auctioning like fresh fish on Stockton Street in Chinatown. Two major bidders are all these boys ever see in their future. Both specialize in recruitment, but not the kinds that get you into college, but the kinds that throw you footballs to convince you got it. The only ticket off the islands, onto the mainland, to the 50-yard line. This pipeline is plated in gold, and our boys were born wearing hard hats. Quitting time was supposed to be yesterday, but they keep on mining until they strike it big, because the NFL knows better than to ever tell them to quit. Not when they're promised millions if they win, but pigskin don't necessarily keep the swine flu from spreading. Just ask Oakland. Oscar Grant's parents, Austin's parole officer, and every brown boy of color on the block. This clock is ticking slowly so that the future of possibilities can slip away faster. Baby boy can't even trick himself out of believing that this is all he will ever know, because the moment that he begins to dream himself lucid is the moment that U.S. military affairs are showing up at his door. It happened to my own father in 1974, both my uncles in 1981, and Austin and his friends are no exception to the rule, because every Samoan family knows somebody in active duty overseas. We've all become so accustomed to losing all of our people to the American dream, and you know what? It's been a nightmare coming, because that's it. Force our boys to take their pick, choose football, choose military, that's it. Samoan Americans make up some of the highest dropout rates in the public education system in the Bay Area. Samoan Americans commit more felony and misdemeanor crimes than any ethnic group in California. American Samoans sign up for military services at a pace exceeding even the high expectation rates of military recruiters. American Samoans die in Iraq and Afghanistan at a higher rate than any of the troops from the U.S. or its territory. So yes, Austin doesn't like to write poetry. He doesn't speak when spoken to. He's failing all of his classes. He cannot go to junior prom because his parole officer won't let him. He sits on the outside of the circle, away from everybody. He does not want to participate. He does not know what to do with my smile. But considering the shit that society pits against everything he is, turning his life into target practice, motherfuckers still have the audacity to wonder why he's so quiet. But if you can just stand with me and watch as this boy attempts to grow into all kinds of dreamer, then you will see that he is in fact speaking, but that his story was meant for you to witness and not listen. Thank you.